Call of Duty Black Ops 2 starts in a federal secure facility. A special team arrives at the place led by Harper. They move in and find an old man named Woods. They ask him about Raul Menendez, who is a leader of a terrorist organization, Cordis Die. Old men confirm, and this guy, who turns out to be Mason's grown-up son, is having disturbing flashbacks. Flashback to Mason, who is in Alaska climbing on a tree with his son. A tough love lesson is interrupted by choppers. Kid falls off the tree, and Colonel North from NSC and Jason Hudson inform Mason that Woods led a covert team in Angola and they lost contact. The CIA can't go in because of politics, so they send in Mason. Mason's son is like, "Daddy, you promised no more risky missions with cinematic cutscenes. You barely survive, remember?" Mason is like, "It's Uncle Woods and it's Call of Duty Kid. There always will be another game sooner or later." Fast forward to Angola, this guy Savimbi and his boys are retrieving Alex Mason, who got pinned by the enemy. It's in the middle of a full-scale battle and Hudson provides air support. On the other side, MPLA, aka guys wearing sweatshirts with AK-47. They push back enemies and try to reach Woods. Back to the present, Woods tells what happened in between the first game and a sequel. So he got captured and was sent to Hanoi, where he was kept in prison before he managed to escape. Back to Angola, Mason lands on a boat and fights his way through the river. They find a container full of dead bodies and somehow Woods is there and still alive. They take him and escape into the jungle. They sneak carefully and reach the nearby radio station to call for the extraction. Turns out the guy behind the radio is Menendez and he is talking with Kravchenko. Menendez is not afraid of a gun and breaks the radio while at a gunpoint. Mason takes him as hostage, but this crazy bastard pulls out a grenade and unlocks it. Then he uses the distraction to attack Mason and the explosion throws them both out of the window. With Cuban soldiers alarmed, Mason and Hudson run through the jungle to reach the river carrying Woods. They almost get cornered, but Savambi shows up in the nick of time with a chopper. Back to the present. Woods explains Menendez wanted revenge on Mason and turns out he was a cartel leader in Nicaragua back then. Now he leads this Cordis Died group and they use social media to leak information that makes the USA look like the devil in disguise. Woods says they need to get rid of Menendez quickly before too many people believe he is some kind of a messiah, which is already happening. So they try to raid his headquarters and it's super protected, but they have this advanced nano shit gear. Still, they almost are killed by a tree. So the thing with Menendez is he doesn't have mercenaries or soldiers. He has believers. That's right, believers. People willing to sacrifice their life not for money, not for power, but just because this guy told them to do so, the worst kind. Plus they got high-tech shit too, like invisible suits and stuff. Turns out this so-called temple is actually a super advanced base. They find this guy Eric Briner, the magnetometrist. Okay, focus because science shit important for the plot is coming up. So, Menendez brought him here to process the Celerium, which is a new rare earth element that will render all existing microchip technologies obsolete. Eric shows them the quantum entanglement, which is this ultra-heavy power force. Imagine a thing that would let you use your microwave, vacuum cleaner, and cordless kettle at the same time. Now that's power, right? Now multiply that by 1 billion and design it to look like a toy you hang on your car mirror. It's like the Walmart version of the Tesseract. While Eric explains the possibilities of using this for evil reasons, he gets shot in the neck. Mason's son and his team fights back until Briggs shows up with support and tells the boys mission accomplished. Later, Mason's son, aka Section, asks his mate Salazar, who grew up in Nicaragua, why does Menendez hate America so much? Well, turns out it's personal. During the Cold War, he witnessed Contras rape and murder his people. Then the earthquake ruined his family, and after his little sister died in a fire, Raul and his father began to sell drugs and rise to power, until the CIA assassinated his father. In 1986, Mason was sent to Afghanistan to eliminate Menendez, who was there for business reasons. Back then, Mujahideen cooperated with the CIA in exchange for help with the Russian army. So there you go, 3 cowboys on horses against the infinite Russian war machine. The Soviets never had a chance. At one point, Mason starts to see the numbers. You know those from the previous game. Can't tell for shit what's fake and what's real at this point. They got a guy on the ground, Woods says it's Kravchenko, but we all know that from the Mason brainwashed perspective, it might as well be JFK. But it looks like it really was Kravchenko, and now they are interrogating him in some cave hole. Mason gets haunted by numbers, and his mind forces him to kill Kravchenko. Russian tells them Menendez has people everywhere, even in the CIA. Wood kills him, and the Mujahideen reveal they actually work for Menendez. He ordered them to make them suffer, so they beat them up and left to die in the desert. Who saved them? Reznov? Is it even possible? Anyways, they learned of the Menendez location in Nicaragua and used CIA influence in Panama to get there through the jungle. Panama soldiers attack Menendez's house and capture him and his sister Josefina, but it turns out that President Noriega from Panama betrayed the CIA and released him. In return, Menendez kills him instantly and rushes back to save Josefina. Running on pure adrenaline, he butchers half of the Panama male population. He almost makes it, but Woods stands on his way to save his sister. Grenade blows up, Josefina dies. Woods is not proud of that, but he explained, back in Angola, Menendez tortured his men in front of him. Those guys in the container, remember? He was locked with their dead bodies for weeks. So during the mission, Woods lost his nerve and let emotions make the calls. He throws a grenade and it blows up. At the end of the day, they thought they had Menendez in the body bag. Turns out he was still alive, and the Panama military extracted him right under Gringo's nose. Then we meet DeFalco, Menendez, number 2. During the briefing, the team connects spots and figures this new cyber weapon called Karma might be responsible for killing their drones in Yemen, where DeFalco is currently operating. Section still has these weird flashbacks with memories of him being kidnapped. Now he figures that the kidnapper was Menendez, who wanted revenge for his sister. Then we see Section and the rest trying to infiltrate Anthem, one of Raul Menendez's strongholds. They spot Menendez and manage to record some of his conversations. Soon it turns out Menendez is aware of their presence, so they quickly evacuate, and Briggs tells them they need to escape through the city to reach Evac. There they meet Zhao and his men who help them. Analyzing the recordings, they spot a symbol and figure out that Karma weapon is on a floating city. It's this fancy ship mall on Cayman Islands. They go there and break inside the facility undercover as union inspectors. Once they pass the security, they look for Central Records computer using some cool high-tech toys like this remote-controlled bug. Still, they get detected and need to shoot their way to the CRC, where they try to find Karma. And turns out Karma is not a weapon, it's a person. They identify her as Chloe Lynch. Harper finds her in a club and explains she needs to go with them. But before they know it, DeFalco is performing "It's a Murder" on a dance floor, literally. Chloe reveals herself to save the innocent, and hell lets loose. Before you know it, they paint the club red, but DeFalco manages to escape with Karma. Hacking into security cameras, they locate him and manage to take down DeFalco and secure Karma. David wants more answers from Woods. He asks if Menendez killed his father in Panama. Woods explains that when they found out Menendez was still alive in Panama, the president himself gave the orders to go for him. Woods and Mason were sent there. They used the invasion in 1989 as a cover-up, supporting the Navy SEALs. Hudson confirms Menendez's location in Adelina Motel. Mason and Woods storm the place, but they only find Noriega there. Hudson orders to escort him for a prisoner exchange. Turns out Noriega betrayed Raul Menendez, and he leads Woods right to him. Woods spots Menendez carried by guards and is ordered by Hudson to take him out. But it turns out it wasn't Raul Menendez. It was Mason. Menendez shows up and puts Woods on a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Woods wakes up next to Menendez, David, and Hudson, who reveals he had to sacrifice Mason to save David's life. Raul kills Hudson. He tells David now he will suffer with him. David tells Woods it was not his fault. Meanwhile, Coley is hacking into Tacitus' system through a worm she left before quitting working for them. The intel shows Menendez is planning to attack China and USA at the same time. Briggs sends the team to Yemen. Harper is there and they have an undercover Farid infiltrating Menendez. Raul takes Farid to a square full of people. Battle breaks, and Menendez tells Farid to meet him at the Citadel. Harper leads him through the city via radio. But when he reaches Menendez, he shoots down Harper and captures him. Then he orders Farid to kill him. Farid tries to shoot Menendez instead, but he's quicker and kills him. Section and the others reach Harper, then they go after Menendez. Turns out, he just sits there in the VTOL waiting for them. Okay, so they have Menendez, but we both know something stinks. He clearly let them take him. Now he is held on OSS Obama. Raul says he will speak only to David Mason. Menendez sings the same old song again. Sister, bad Americans, evil capitalists. Meanwhile, the ship gets attacked. Menendez uses the distraction and takes a hostage. Section gives up, Raul knocks him down and escapes. Salazar and Mason help to regain control over the ship. Turns out someone messed up the security systems and they need to take a risky move of rebooting them, but that's exactly what Menendez wanted them to do. With the security down after the reboot, he walks straight into the server room. He takes Briggs as hostage. It turns out Salazar is a traitor. Menendez hacks into the system and uploads a virus, taking over the entire US drone fleet. Menendez then uses the drones to stage an attack on Los Angeles during a meeting of G20 leaders hoping to kill them and cause catastrophic damage to the global economy. Section meets with the President Bosworth, who becomes a target of the attack. They get shot down, but President survives, and they try to evacuate her from Los Angeles, which is already under a full-scale attack. They take Bosworth to prom night shelter under the hotel in downtown. A helicopter crashes on the bridge, and they are involved in that accident. Section uses a SAM turret to shoot down the drones until a plane shows up to provide overwatch. They manage to regroup the convoy and drive through the destroyed downtown. Section crushes and has to fight his way through the streets. At one point, he is knocked down by a collapsing building. When he wakes up, it turns out Anderson was hit, but she managed to land, so Mason takes the plane and provides air support for the convoy. He gets shot down, ejects, and survives the crash, and President Bosworth reaches the shelter. The Secretary of Defense informs them they traced a source of signal near Haiti, so now it's a race against time to reach it before the drones reach their targets. The team gets dropped there like it's a crisis game. The facility is heavily protected by Menendez followers, but Section and his men manage to break through and get inside the building. They locate the control room and try to shut down the signal. Menendez begins a live broadcast. He says he wanted the president to witness the fall of Los Angeles. Then he self-destructs the drones over New York City and orders his followers to rise and strike. The facility begins to self-destruct. Floor collapses under Mason and he lands right next to Menendez. He slides in slow motion and next thing you know, he has him on the floor at a gunpoint. He has to choose to kill him or capture him. So there are 8 potential endings based on some choices during the game, but with the release of Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 now, we know that the canonical one is where Harper survives, Chol dies, when Salazar turns out to be the rat and Section kills Menendez, making him a martyr and sparking his followers to rise. Mason and Woods visit his grave and Mason leaves his gun there, telling he is done. Woods tells him his dad is happy to hear that, and that's how the game ends.